everyone, I am here with my winter and Christmas toddler bookshelves. My little boy is just over a year and a half and we started doing this autumn where we set up his bookshelves to sort of showcase seasonal books and books that we wanted to read in that time of year. I guess that's seasonal. And we're doing the same thing this winter. So as we're coming into December now, I actually have a lot of Christmas themed books, but I will film this video again in January and February when I'll swap out those books for just winter themed books. So yeah, I'm so excited to show you what we've got. So first up is our favourite series, the Gerda Muller Winter. So this comes in spring, summer, autumn, winter. We had it for autumn. He absolutely loved it. I'll come a little bit closer to the camera, you can see. It's got the most beautiful little illustrations, no words, and a nice one to kind of tell the story with your child, describe activities that you'll be doing in the season. And they just love spending time looking at this book on their own as well. So I always get the Gerda Muller seasonal book out for our seasonal shelves, and that one always goes down really, really well. Next up is a secondhand purchase, and it is Winter Story. This is the Brambley Hedge series, and it's got the most prettiest little illustrations. This is one that you could keep on your winter shelf after Christmas, as would the Gerda Muller one be. It's a little story of mice preparing for their winter snow party, ice party, and it's just lovely. Now you might be thinking, is your baby not too young for that kind of book? But he actually loves these Brambley Hedge stories. I think it's because the illustrations are so pretty, but he spends ages looking at them, and it's often the book that he reaches for first on his shelf. So I think this will be a good one that will grow with him. Next up is a Christmas themed book, and this is The Christmas Eve Tree by illustrated by Emily Sutton, and it's by Delia Huddy. I mainly got this because I love Emily Sutton's illustrations so much. They're very beautiful. This is definitely a story for an older child, but I knew it was something that would grow with him, and the illustrations are so nice, he would be able to enjoy it nonetheless. Often what I do with stories like this for my younger toddler is I abbreviate the stories because he will get bored otherwise. So I just make up a story as I go along, and then it'll be something that I can read with him in its entirety when he gets a bit older. Now moving back to just a winter theme is of course the seasonal series by Shirley Hughes. Again, this comes in spring, summer, autumn, winter. I bought these in the nursery pack, but I did have to get them on eBay. Pretty sure that they're out of print now, but they are worth finding. This is the winter one. It's a selection of sort of poems and very short little stories, lots of seasonal illustrations. We had this in autumn, and I think it was by far his favourite book. Loads of beautiful illustrations and short stories and shortish poems. And he actually loves poems. I think most babies or young toddlers love the rhyme in them. So even though this would also grow with him as he gets older, I do think this is one that younger toddlers can enjoy as well. So that's Winter by Shirley Hughes. Okay, there's so many books here, and I'm so out of breath because I'm 18 weeks pregnant now, so whew. But anyway, I'll keep going. This is Paddington, The Christmas Surprise, illustrated by R.W. Alley and of course by Michael Bond. A lovely book, very traditional in its story and its illustrations, but a lovely one, I think anyway, and something. I love Paddington, and I think it's something that I will enjoy reading with Rupert as he gets older as well. Of course, you've got to have a Mog book on your shelf. I love Mog books. They're so sweet. The illustrations are just gorgeous. I always love to see what Mog is up to, what adventures Mog's gonna have, and this one's all around a Christmas tree and Mog's Christmas. Really cute. We had a little board book of Mog book. We had a little Mog board book earlier on in the year, and it went down really well, so I'm excited to read this to Rue. We haven't read it yet, it's only the 1st of December, but I have had these books up on his shelves for the last 3 days, I think, and he hasn't reached this one yet, but I know he will enjoy it. This is The Winter Song Robin's Winter Song, by Suzanne Barton. This book is another one that you could leave on your shelves after Christmas, which is great. It's all about let me see if I can get a really nice picture for you. It's about a robin's quest to understand winter, and it sort of takes you through winter and into spring. It's really lovely. The pictures are very sweet. He has lots of little friends along the way. And it does also describe in really simple terms what winter is and what you can expect to see. So I really like this one too. Right, moving on to a library book. We got this from the library the other day, and it's of course The Snowman, a classic by Raymond Briggs. This one, I actually think it's pretty much, yeah, it's just all pictures. This one, I haven't even looked at it yet. I just grabbed it from the library. But it just has lots of pictures, which I actually really like for younger children as well. Sometimes it's nice for them just to use their imagination. And lovely, so I'm very excited to read that to Rue, and definitely a Christmas one, I think. I'm trying to sort of wonder whether it has anything about Christmas Day in it. No, it doesn't actually, so you could keep this on your shelf after Christmas, and it's a nice one for children when it snows and they can make a snowman and you can read the book together. Coming up to some of my favourites now, they just happen to be at the bottom. This one is so beautiful, and I really recommend, if it's something that might be of interest for you, to invest in it. It's called Pick a Pine Tree by Patricia Tott. And it is just so beautifully illustrated. The story is very short and it's also rhyming, so it works really well for a toddler. And it just has lovely, lovely illustrations. And it takes you through the whole thing of picking your tree all the way to dressing it up, decorating it ready for Christmas. So I think this is such a charming book, and we actually got this from the library, but we're going to buy it because it's a firm favourite of mine, and Rupert picks it out all the time to read. Next up, another favourite of mine. This doesn't look much, but it's so lovely. It's called Little Christmas Tree, and it's actually a Lift the Flap book. It's got lovely sparkly Christmas tree and loads of flaps. I think there's 4 flaps on a page. But just look how beautifully illustrated this is. It's just so lovely and really twinkly and very, very festive. I adore it. It does reference Christmas, obviously it's Christmas tree, but it's not particularly, you know, there's no Santa or anything like that in it. So if you're more Montessori, this could suit you. Definitely worth getting. Again, this one and Pick a Pine Tree are 2 of my all-time favourites. They're just lovely. This is by Jessica Courtney Tickle. Now, we don't own the Gruffalo or anything like that yet, but my mum did get Rupert the Stickman story by Julia Donaldson and illustrated by Axel Schaeffler. I think most of you will know this. It's the story of, I never had read this before, so I thought it was so funny when I did. It's the story of a little stick man that gets separated from his family, and then eventually Santa brings Stickman back home. So it's very festive, very Christmassy, and very fun. So I love this, and I think the illustrations are so gorgeous. Another one that would suit older children as well. Finally, I have probably left the best till last, is this incredible book, The Story Orchestra's The Nutcracker, illustrated by Jessica Courtney Tickle. Oh, she did the same illustrations as the Christmas tree one. Maybe that's why I love this so much. And it is a paper book, so it's not a board book. So you want to bear that in mind if you've got younger babies that like to tear things. And it's got a little story about the Nutcracker, the beautiful illustrations. But what makes this so amazing, on each page, there's a little button that you press. and it plays a little section from the Nutcracker. It's so festive. I don't know whether it's my pregnancy hormones, but I actually cried when I first went through this book. I am obsessed with ballet and I couldn't love this more. So it's just lovely. It's a really simple way for children to understand the Nutcracker story, and also if you'd like to take your children to the ballet, this would be a wonderful accompaniment so they can read and then also learn snippets of the music. Right at the end it tells you all about the music and all the different acts and what the music represents. So yeah, really good. It's very easy to change the battery as well. And this one also comes in Cinderella, I think, and the Four Seasons. So I'll definitely be getting more of this series. It's just absolutely amazing. So impressed with it, and something that I would have been very obsessed with as a child. So I mentioned that Rupert is 1.5 years, and I have to admit, before I had a baby, I would have thought a lot of these books were just too grown up for him. But funnily enough, the ones he reaches for are the Story Orchestra, and I think that's because it's got such a beautiful cover initially. But once he realised that there was music in it, he was completely besotted with this book. He loves it to bits, and like I say, he's 1.5 years. He is very careful with books and he tends not to rip them. But I certainly wouldn't leave him alone with something like that, just because it's such a beautiful book and it's paper, until he was a bit older and knew for sure not to rip the pages. The other books he reaches for a lot are The Little Christmas Tree, the reason being it's got lots of flaps in it and he loves lifting flaps. Pick a Pine Tree, I think it's just got such a pretty cover, he tends to grab this one too. And also I love reading this to him, it's lovely. It was also lovely when we were putting up our Christmas tree, because I prepped him by reading this beforehand, and it wasn't such a surprise then when he saw the tree. Anything by Shelley Hughes he is obsessed with, and actually that reminds me, I do have another book. It's called Lucy and Tom's Christmas by Shelley Hughes, but I'm pretty sure it's my bed. He was reading it this morning. So he loves Shelley Hughes. For some reason, just something about the illustrations makes it his favourite every single time. Like I said, The Brambly Hedge, he loves it. Again, this is an older kid's book, but he just really gravitates towards it. And of course the Gerda Muller ones, you cannot go wrong with a good book by Gerda Muller. They are just gorgeous, and they're board books. They're really hardy. You could give it to your toddler in the car and you wouldn't have to worry about it. So there we go, that's my winter shelves. I'm going to insert a clip somewhere in this video. I might have done it already, but otherwise it'll be here, of what my layout of the books are. It's just he's napping at the moment and I'm trying to find a way of filming with a busy, noisy toddler, so I can't go into his room now, but I will try at some point today to film how I laid them out as well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please do subscribe and check out my blog to join my Facebook group and my Instagram and all that kind of good stuff. I've also got a podcast called Nature and Nourish, and I'm also on BBC Radio 2 every month chatting about gardening. So there's loads of content from me, and I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you soon. Bye.